Hey there, I wanted to take a few minutes to explain to you what you are about to watch and what this is all a part of, in case you don't know. So I'm Katelyn. It's nice to meet you if we've never met before. My full name is Katelyn James from Katelyn James Photography, and I am a photographer. I photograph weddings all over the world. I'm also an educator. I like to teach other people how to shoot weddings, and I've been doing this since 2008. So really long time. I was in college when I started this business, and my husband has been shooting with me for years now. His name's Michael, and we were talking about how education has come so far. Like, workshops have been amazing and courses are great, but about a year and a half ago is when we realized something needed to be different. Like, people want to become photographers, they want to grow, they want to understand how to handle themselves in real life situations, but it's just not the same when you're at a workshop or you're watching a course where there's staged educational videos. What would it be like if we let photographers watch us and learn from us shoot from behind the scenes? So even though it can be embarrassing at times, even though it can be very eye-opening, and it can show some of my strengths and some of my weaknesses, this has been the best educational idea that we have ever created. And so I'm excited because those of you who are not KJ All Access members, you're not a part of the KJ All Access community, today you get to see a sneak peek and you get to learn from me for free, and I hope you enjoy it. And so what I'm doing is I am teaching you from a segment of an engagement session that I shot in downtown Washington, D.C., and this session was beautiful. It was gorgeous. But it was really sunny, which is awesome. But when you are in situations where it's super sunny, sometimes even the most gorgeous light can be hard to shoot in. And maybe I'm the only one that feels that way, but I think a lot of photographers, if we're being honest, sometimes really beautiful, sunny, golden light does not always, it doesn't always come as natural to us to find the best angle and the best positioning to get the glow that we want. Glow is awesome. It's my favorite thing to shoot in, but it doesn't come without a lot of technique and a lot of practice. So what I'm going to show you today is how I take the glow at the end of this engagement session, and I'm going to kind of explain what is working and what's not working. And you're going to be able to see that I kind of take two different approaches to where I position myself in regards to where I am, where my couple is, and where the sun is. There are two different approaches that produce two different types of look when it comes to lighting and the final product of these portraits. And so I hope that by watching this, you'll learn a little something, and you will walk away from watching this video and be ready to give something a try at your very next shoot.
Oh, you guys can hold hands as you walk away from me, and I'll use you guys walking away to get my settings straight. So you can look at each other while you're walking.
Okay, so this is a totally different ball game. It's completely different than what we did before up in the residential area. Now we're dealing with somewhat diffused backlight and some direct backlight. So right now, actually, it's slightly diffused by that tree in the background, slightly, but it's still pretty intense light. And there's a few things I'm looking out for. So for example, if I take one step to the left and I'm in the line of that light and the sun is coming into my lens, then I'm going to lose all the pop that I have in these images. If I step too far to the right, I'm going to start seeing light hit his face and her face in a way that I don't want to shoot. I don't want any harsh light hitting their face. So I'm balancing between two really good areas. One is shooting from the right hand side of them just slightly like I am right now. And then what you'll see me do is I'll step over to the left, and I will place the sun right behind their heads, directly behind their heads. And that really produces a gorgeous glow. And that doesn't see how I'm trying to block the light. The light's hitting me in the face right now, and I know that I can't shoot right there, but I know that once I get them set up, then I can move myself to a place where I can't see the sun, and it's going to produce a really beautiful halo glow. Now, if the sun is too intense, see right here, I'm trying to figure out a way to block the sun with their heads. Just like that. Oh, it's so pretty. Now, this would not work if the sun was super, super intense, or if it wasn't being slightly diffused through that tree. It also wouldn't really work that well if that tree was like super thick and you could barely see the sun. So this is kind of a perfect recipe to get these glowy images. Oh, I just love these so much. We're about to see one of my other favorite shots from the entire shoot.
Like this, so your whole body can come, like, even if that, does that make sense? So Chris, you can, yeah, keep coming. Yeah, that's perfect. All right, so he's nuzzling in. You're gonna be, oh, this is gorgeous. You're smiling at me. Guys, the glow is unreal. This is exactly, Michael knows. We want sunset glow like this all the time. We're gonna pray for it at the Hey Adams, okay?
So something else that I remember as I'm watching this back is that, again, it's one of those situations where I just know I have the potential for this to be beautiful. But I've got to figure out the light, and then I've got to figure out a way to get genuine, beautiful, joyful interactions from them. I got to figure out a way to get the pose right. So it's a lot. What we have to process as photographers in order to do a great job is really, it can be overwhelming, because we're trying to find the best light. We're trying to compose well. We're trying to get distractions out of the background. We're trying to make sure it is in focus. And at the same time, we're trying to make sure they look awesome. And that's hard to do. It's hard, not with these two. They're beautiful people. But it's hard to make people look their absolute best, in the midst of thinking of all those other things. So there's a lot going through my mind right now, but I know because of the light and the way it's slightly diffused and how we have secondary light in front of them, I just know that I need to take my time and make sure I nail these, because this location has the potential to be just gorgeous.
So you're walking, smiling at each other while you're walking. Just Emma's laughing at me. Beautiful. Oh, sorry. You can relax. I just hit a button.
The other thing to pay attention to is how I didn't just come to this open field and think, oh, I need to go put them in that light. I need them to stand in the bright part of the field. Notice their feet are basically in the shadows. Now, they're not in the most consistent area of shadows. They're in the speckly light. And I heard someone say recently in our lighting and locations course, they said, why would I look for the speckly light? I thought we don't want the speckly light. No, we do want the speckly light, but we want the sun to be behind your clients. And that ensures that you don't ever have speckles on the front of them. You just have glow. So notice where their feet are. They're not in that bright patch behind them, and they're not in the super solid shadow that's beside them. They're in the speckled light area, and that's what produces glow, but not too much glow, because look at that area behind them that's overexposed. I also don't want them right on the edge of that harsh light, because then all the ground behind them and surrounding, like the sides of them, would be really overexposed, and it wouldn't be easy to edit. It would be frustrating. So their placement in this field, there's a lot to learn about that, because if I had put them closer to that light, it would have been overexposed. If I had put them too far away from the glow and the speckly ground, it would have produced kind of blue tones because there wouldn't be any glow. I would be missing it. So hopefully that helps.
Let's do like where you hold across. There you go. And I'll have Chris come this way a little bit so I can see more of you. Make sure I'm not blinded. All right, so I think this is good. Why don't we switch the leg to popping on that side? There you go. You can be nuzzling in, but Chris, as long as you're smiling at her, we're good. Emma, you're smiling right over towards those runners that are watching us. Actually, I don't think they're runners. I think they're just in workout outfits. Okay, here we go. So you're smiling that way, gorgeous. Nuzzling in nice and close for me, Chris. Perfect. And laughing right down towards his arm. Beautiful. Oh my word.
That's one of my favorites. I think that's actually the header image for their blog post, I believe. And this setup, like the way I shot that, was the sun behind their heads, not the sun completely out of the frame. And see how I back up and I go to the left? That was too hazy. That last image, for my style, it was too hazy. It may not be too hazy for you, but for me, I could tell that that was a little bit too much haze. I lost some of the pop and some of the color control because of how much light was coming into my lens. Just that last one, not the horizontal one that I am obsessed with. So there you have it. That's just a sneak peek of Chris and Emma's engagement session. Now, Chris and Emma just recently got married, and we photographed and filmed their wedding up in the middle of DC. They got married at this gorgeous hotel right next to the White House. It was amazing. If you watch this session, you watch this little clip and you're like, I'd like to see the whole thing. I'd like to learn from the whole thing. Or maybe you're thinking, well, I'd like to see how Katelyn handled their wedding day. Then maybe you should subscribe and become a member for KJ All Access. Because KJ All Access members, every single month on the 15th of every month, they get an email and brand new content comes right into their inbox. So we have over 3,000 photographers who are a part of KJ All Access. That's a lot of people. And they keep coming back for more every single month because they love learning this way. It's new, it's different, it's never been done before. And while you get to see the good, the bad, the ugly, the creative, every single part of what goes into my life behind the scenes, you're going to walk away with new ideas, new inspiration, new techniques, and new ways to improve your craft, no matter if you are brand new or if you've been doing this for 11 years like I have. So come join the KJ All Access family. We would love to have you. It's only $29 a month. We'd love to see you in the next episode.